Hi, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to get to know our data. In the previous session, we learned how to import data into R. Today, we'll be working around our data to see and understand what your data is, how it looks. First and foremost, let's import our data. It's a CSV file. I'm naming it as df. So df is equal to or read.csv file.choose. This is what we had learned in the previous section, and header equals true. Fine. So header equals true. That simply signifies that the first row is your labels. So let's run this. Now you will have to browse your file. Let me browse. Let us take, for example, I'm using a CSV, so it's important that we need to look at the type of file. Okay, so this is Microsoft Excel comma separated, so CSV. So I've taken this file. Now you could see the same thing is imported into our environment. So moving ahead, now let us explore the data. Right now, once the data is imported, it's important that we get to know what our data is. So you could see the environment where the data appears. Now df is the name which we have given to the file that we have imported. It has 569 observations, means 569 rows, and we have 32 variables, that is 32 columns. Now there are two things that you can do. First and foremost, I click on this small check box that you can see that simply looks like a grid or maybe a spreadsheet. Just click on this and you would see that your file opens up neatly just like an Excel. So over here you have a few options that you can explore. First and foremost, you could see this filter. Now when you apply this filter, now if I just want to explore only the male patients, so we have M and F over here, so just you could print M over here and you could see all males would be displayed, right? Likewise, you could sort things as well. Now you can see the mean radius, for instance. Okay, I click on this and you could see this is the minimum mean radius, 10.95. I click it once again. You could see this is the maximum, 28.11. So these are some things that you can do immediately after importing your file. Likewise, you see this play button, right? Click over here and you could see that you get a bit of the structure of your data. Okay, so these are the various columns of your data, whether it is character, numeric, everything is displayed over here. So these are two things that you can do just by clicking. Okay, your interface provides these options, but we need to know how to write a code, because many a times clicking doesn't make or automate your things. Writing a code is important for you to automate things. So in that case, you need to know how to write a code. So now we would view our data. So remember, V is in caps. So view df. Run it, you get your data. Fine. The next, I need to know the class of my data, for instance. Okay, so class could be what kind of data you are handling. So I say class and input the data, the name of the file or the name of the object. So class, it tells me that I'm dealing with a data frame. So what is a data frame? What is a matrix? What is a list? We will discuss it in later sessions, but you can know the class of your data by using this function class. A more elaborate thing is structure. I need to know the structure of each and every variable, for instance, as well as the entire data frame. So structure and the object, that is structure df. So now I get to know the structure. you could see I get the detailed and elaborate form of the thing. It is a data frame. It has 569 observations with 32 variables. And whatever the variables I have, first is ID, it's an integer, diagnosis, it's a character, radius, mean, that is numeric, and so on. So structure gives you an elaborate insight into your data, right? So that is structure. At times, you may need to know how many rows or columns you have within your data. Probably you want to subset and you need to know how many rows and how many columns you have, okay? So one function is dim, that is dimensions, to know your number of rows and number of columns in your data. So dim df, so 569 rows and 32 columns, that is 32 number of vectors or variables. Likewise, if I just simply need to know the number of rows, then you can use n row and input the data frame. So the number of rows is 569. Now I need to know only the number of columns. So n col, and you have the df, and I get to know that I have 32 columns. Fine. At times you may require to print the names of the variables you are dealing with. In such case, simply use the function names and your data. So these are the various variables, the names of the variables in my data set. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.